So I got the grid attachment for the Lightbank thing, and it's not on straight right now, but whatever. And it works quite well. Um, I do want to mention this. I left this light on, and I was just sitting down doing stuff, and I turned around and I noticed there was no light coming out for it, and I was like, "Did the power die?" Or, but what had happened is it overheated. So so it went down to 0%, and I saw like a little heating indicator on my light here. Right now it's cooled down enough to turn back on, but it's probably gonna overheat again if I leave it at 100 like I did. So if your light doesn't have an adequate cooling system, this attachment might not be good enough for you, or it might not be a good solution. This is only 100 watts. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, I thought I'd mention this because I know a lot of us have this attachment and it works well. I like it, I like the use of it. But keep in mind that you are like covering this and it's creating heat. Right now, there's like this, the reflector is pretty warm. If I leave my hand right here too long, it gets pretty hot. So that's something worth noting. Um, yeah, strange. I didn't expect that to happen, but I think this unit itself, the heat doesn't dissipate from the top, or there's no ballast, that would kind of help distribute the heat. But then, just in case your light might not have a good heating solution, oh, there it is, little thermostat. So, just a PSA for everybody. Just keep that in mind. This is day 2 of the short film that we worked on a few weeks ago. I made a video, I think probably 3 weeks now. We are in Stockton again, but not at the lake. We are at this nightly rental place that we filmed a while ago. I think it was last year. So it's a familiar location. I hold multiple hats on this project, unfortunately. The DP couldn't be there during call time, so I had to kind of fill in and run the camera. We just did a bunch of outdoor truck montage type filming. I wasn't able to capture much BTS because of how much I had to do. I was AC, I was gaffing, I was sound because our sound people, they weren't able to come. And I told them I'll just do it, because like it's simple to me and I'll just help the DP out. We have a very little crew anyways that kind of knows the stuff. We dangerously put a 600-watt on top of the director's truck because he wanted moonlight through the windows for the bedroom scene. And I do not recommend this, but we did it. And the gaffer, he kind of stood there most of the time and just kind of made sure it didn't fall. It wasn't a windy day though, so we got lucky. I told him we could come in for a little bit and help us actually like light the room up. I just kind of want to talk about being overbooked. You're gonna see a bunch of different videos of different little projects I helped on. I helped my buddy with this love story for a couple that's getting married, and that's not much. I had to be out anyways, but that same day was like also a pretty busy day for me. That was another production that was happening that people were renting my gear, and I kind of like had to be there to collect the gear. So I just kind of helped them like here and there. I was on the production day. I was kind of there, but I wasn't there also. And then there was another company that hired me to film this 3-day event that was happening, and I was able to get my buddy Gabriel to help me fill in one day because one of those days I had a wedding in St. Louis, and I just told him, can we just use your gear to make things simple, logistics on some of the gear wise, and we did that. And they kind of stressed audio heavily on this one. Thank goodness I'm a sound guy, so I was able to do that. I just kind of want to mention here, he has the same battery I have, and when you click the button, it shows it right away. My ZGC V-mount battery, when you click the button, it takes like a few seconds before the screen appears. And that's all four of my batteries. I don't know what's up, what happened, but that's kind of annoying. But yeah, this company really stressed the audio because I think last time they hired a guy for like a whole month to follow the guy talking around, and I think he did a terrible job. Like all the audio was just like very bad. They told me like it was unusable because they use a DJI mic. I'm not trying to slam on DJI mics, but you kind of have to know that you have to listen to the audio also. And I'm pretty sure he was not listening, and that's what happens all the time. I was on the production of a feature film where the BTS guy, he had a mic on his mic or a mic on his camera. But then I guess he never turned audio on in his camera. So he caught no audio. And the director and the producer was super pissed. And I was like, damn, man, like I do BTS, I do stuff like that. You guys should have hired me for that instead of sound. But, it's all good. Speaking of the wedding in St. Louis, that was pretty crazy. It was a 12-hour wedding, so I got there around 11. It wasn't a crazy wedding, thank goodness. First few hours, like there wasn't very much to do, so I was lucky enough to just kind of like just sit around. And then I had a second shooter also, so like he did a lot of work, and I just kind of made sure things were going well. But then that day, I had to come back the same day as well because the people who were renting my gear, because there was overlap where I had to use my gear for the wedding, I told them I'll just bring all the gear to you guys that day. And I'll use my truck and just bring extra stuff as well. You guys got what you need. But then I didn't get home until 4 a.m. that night or that morning. And that was because I was super tired. I did not want to drive. Like very tired. I didn't want anything dangerous. It was raining. It was nighttime, dark, and the trip is only 3 hours long from Springfield to St. Louis. But then it took me 6 hours total because I was just being a little extra cautious. I was driving a little bit slower, and I actually slept for like an hour and a half just to make sure, I wouldn't be overtired. Even then, I didn't have enough time to kind of like prep the stuff, and I didn't sleep till like 5:30, and the call time was 9, and they were trying to get there an hour earlier. But then they didn't really shoot that day anyways, which was a good thing because I felt that I was getting a little bit of sick, and I ended up, being sick afterwards. So I was able to use that day to kind of dump the footage and upload the footage and get some rest as much as I can. Because that following Monday, I had another wedding, Memorial Day wedding. And I had to make sure I was able to do it. So that wedding comes around, I do it, I'm okay. I don't cough too much. Now, me being sick isn't a huge deal, but the issue is that after I get sick, I usually have a cough for a very long time. It's kind of like bronchitis, I think it's what it is. It's like uncurable for me for some reason. I was able to dodge it for a few years now, but then every time I get sick, it just kind of enhances it and it comes in. I thought it didn't work this time because, I was feeling better throughout the week, but then I'm coughing now, and I really don't like to cough in public because people, they kind of freak out, right? So I really am trying to avoid like a lot of public areas where I cough insanely. And I mean like I cough like I dry heave cough. Like it's loud. It's terrible. It's not too bad right now, but then I don't want it to get worse, so I'm trying to prevent it from anything else. So that's just kind of like me being overbooked for all these projects, which is good. I'm getting paid, I'm glad, and I'm getting work. But then my health has kind of been sacrificed because of that, and I do not want things to get worse. Because coming up, I'm having 2 weddings back to back, one in St. Louis again and one in Arkansas. So I have to travel all the way back, and then I have to make sure I get ready quick enough to go to the Arkansas wedding. So I'm gonna have to probably charge my batteries like during the transit, and I have to make sure I have SD cards that can hold the proper amount of storage I need. So there's always that issue there. But that's all I want to talk about today, and I'll see you guys next time.